More, what I'm going to be doing is using the white pencil like a sculpturing tool. And what this means is you use the white to bring back the light. Just round there would be nice, or just under there, right? And just on the top of the nose, and down the edge of the nose. We've got a little bit of dark, which we'll reintroduce on the edge of the nose. You see, and re-establish our little light bit. And around here, this is the feature. I'm going around the nose because it's easier for you to see and to appreciate. And round there, like that. You can see how that's beginning to stand out. Now if we come around this side, there's a shadow that falls across here, so we don't want to go all the way down, but just to there. Fill that in. Use your finger again, having wiped it first, just to blend it out. You see the nose beginning to stand away, pop forward, and that's what we want. Now I'll continue to do that all the way around, including the eyes and the remaining part of the nose and the face. Now I've left this little bit here around the eyes so that I can show you in close-up detail how we establish these very fine areas. You can see I'm going both sides of the eye there, a little bit of light in there, fade it, and I'll use my side of my pencil just to fade it in. Otherwise you'll end up with it being a bit too hard. Just fade it. I want that to be a hard line, but not that. See? And here we just get that faded in there nicely. That just pops back, but not very much. And while we're here, I want to show you how you can get rid of the surface pastel, pink, and the other colours that have got into the eye itself. Now this is a pencil eraser, double-ended. One end's a softer rubber and the other is a harder rubber. It depends on what you want to take off. In this case I don't want to destroy the paper, so I'm using the soft. You see how that takes it out? And it's a bit early yet, I'm going to do the eyes separately, but I can show you now how much difference that makes when you put the white of the eye in. See how that's brighter? Now if I put it directly on top of that, it will be a bit dull, a little bit pinky. Okay, just a small point, but worth mentioning. And the other side, same again. And just above there I've got a little bulbous. I've got the same on the other side, which I'll do in a minute. Bulbous area. So we go darker right in the middle, blow that away, and what we do, instead of just making a hard line that we've done at the bottom, we just fade that in. Just use the pencil, lighten your touch, and you just fade that in, so you get a kind of a curl around. And that's emphasised more when we put the darker colours in. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Start off with a dark area, you see, and now you've got a hard line. Soften that line by lightening the touch of the pencil and softening it down. If you repeat that several times as you put the darker colours on, you'll get a lovely little bulbous area there, which is a very, very nice feature. And look at the eyes beginning to work. Okay, and just establish that once again, and now we're ready to put the darker colours on. Now just before we go on to the darker colours, let's just reiterate what we've done. We've used about half a dozen colours to build up the face here. But I'm probably going to surprise you by showing you how many colours we're going to be now using on top of them. Never. We are, you know. This is one we've actually used before, in fairness. This is the 187. And I'm only going to do one small area here, and I'm going to use all these colours on that small area. Now you don't have to use all those colours. I'm showing off. But I'm just showing you how it's possible. Now I'm going to use the 187, which we used before, just to establish a little bit of detail around the eye. Okay, good. That's just about all I need there. There's maybe a little bit on the top edge of the eye, a little bit in there. Okay, this is just one colour. We've used it before, so it's not foreign to us. Now the next colour I'm going to use is the 191. Again, we've used this before, but we only used it lightly. Now I want to use just a little bit more colour. Each one adds just that little bit of extra tone to it. Bear in mind, and look how lightly I'm touching it. Very, very light touch now. once again we can use just a little bit of colour in here. We can use the side of the pencil too, just to establish a little bit of tone in there. Bear in mind we can come back in with the white, we can come in with the ivory if we have to. Now the next one is going to be a surprise to you. This is a light grey. Now when you've got a young child, or in this case a young girl, around about 19 I imagine she would be, you can use a little grey into the picture. It hardly shows at all, but I tell you what, it gives a little bit of translucency to the skin. Now us old uns, we don't use the grey because we haven't got translucent skin, so it's only really for the youngsters. Now the next colour, the red, now this has got to be, you've got to be careful with this. This colour would actually be more flushing, perhaps on the cheek. So let's just build the cheek just a little bit with these previous colours we've used. And these are the colours we've used. We don't want any grey on here. Just rub that in, just very, very lightly. Now the red, which is a very strong red, and would be very devastating if you put too much on, but we only just want a little bit of flush of colour, like that. 118 is the colour we're using there. And then just blend it with your finger. See? Gives her a nice little rosy glow to her cheek. And there's nothing wrong with putting a little bit up there if you feel you want to. Just a little touch with your finger. These are just touches. The next colour is an optional colour, and this is 169. And I'll be honest, I think probably we could leave it out of here, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to add a little bit. It's a very, very, it's greyish mauvey colour, very attractive. Used a lot in portrait work and in landscape too. Next colour, well the final two colours really we can use together. The 283, now 283 is an excellent colour, and what that does actually is gives you an increase of strength on the 187 that we used earlier. And here we're going to use this one mainly for filling in the eyebrow across the top there like that. Always a little touch of the finger. We're not rubbing it, we're just blending it in. And then this one would be also used in the eye and the deeper parts of the eye there, like that. The next colour is quite a hard colour to use. It's a one.